Hello guys, Edgar over here, and in this video we're going to work with the configuration of L2TP over IPSec using Sophos UTM version 9. Let's go to open the web admin base, and the first step is to create the user that we want to allow the communication from the internet to the LAN, and we're going to click on users and group, new user. Let's call this username Edgar, and I'm gonna choose a password for this guy. The authentication can be local on the Sophos itself, or we can use a remote authentication like Radius server. But for now, in this video, we are going to use local authentication. We click Save. We make sure that that Edgar is enabled, because we can disable this user, so this user cannot be used. Okay, we have the user. Now we are going to move to remote access and open L2TP over IPSec. We're going to enable the feature and the interface. In this case, the traffic we're gonna get through the one interface. This interface right now is the one that I have connected to my provider, my ISP. I'm gonna type a password for the password secret. So this password is going to be and is the password for the VPN communication. Then we can assign an IP address using a pool that is predefined on Sophos, or we can also use a DHCP server. I'm going to use a VPN pool. If you don't have this, when you make this your configuration, you can always go to the folder and add the pool automatically. So the pool I'm going to use is 10.242.3.0/24. And then the authentication again will be local, and we need to add the user Edgar. So this user will be able to connect to the VPN. So I'm going to apply this service. Once we have applied the configuration, we're going to move to advanced, and this is only if you want the user that is connecting via the VPN to allow access to the internet through the Sophos UTM. So I'm going to use the public Google DNS. Apply. Then let's go to move to network protection and firewall. We need to specify and create a rule that allow the VPN pool network to access or either the internal network or the external network. It's going to add a new rule. The source is going to be the network for the pool, which is the VPN pool L2TP. Which kind of service that this network will be allowed to use? For me, right now, I'm going to use any, but you can be more specified and select, for example, IPSec, authentication header, encapsulation security payload, internet key exchange, NAT traversal, or the whole suite dragging the group, and etc. It's depending on your needs. But for me, I'm going to use any service, and the destination will be any. Okay, the action will be allowed. We need to enable this rule by click on the toggle button, and then we're going to move to the NAT tab, because we want to masquerade the private IP address for the L2TP network, masquerade to the external network, which is the public static, or it can be dynamic IP address. I want to point that to make this a successful communication, we must have or either a static IP address, public, or dynamic. If you have or are behind a CGNAT or a NAT plane, depending on the carrier, this will not work, because you have then to talk with them and make that traffic pass through the network, which is most of the time they will not accept that because of security reasons. So the interface that we want to masquerade the VPN pool L2TP network will be masqueraded to the external one. Right now I'm using a IP, a dynamic public IP. We can find out that in interfaces and routing interfaces, and you see that I have this IP assigned to me. And if you want to verify if you are not behind a CGNAT, you can right click on this guy or on this IP and go to pin.eu and verify that this is the same IP address that you have. And actually it's true. So we have a public external IP address. So we are good right now. So let's go to recapitulate this and verify. We have the firewalls allowing the network, the VPN network to any service, using any service to any network. We have the NAT. We need to enable this rule, the masquerading rule, so we can masquerade the VPN pool network to the external one. And if we go to remote access and L2TP over IPSec, we identified and specified the external one as the interface that the traffic will go through to this interface. We define the pre-shared key, and we are using the pool, so the user will receive an IP address from this network for the 10.242.3.0/24, and Edgar will be the only person who will have access to the network. And then we specify in advance the DNS server for the remote users. The next step is to create the VPN interface on Mac. This is for Mac users only. So I'm going to click on the Wi-Fi icon and open network preferences. And we'll go to add a new interface. The interface is going to be VPN, and the VPN type, in this case not Internet Key Exchange version 2, is L2TP over IPSec, and we click on create. Once we create the interface, we need to specify the one IP address, or if you have a DTNS, you can also that too. Then the account name is the username for the user that will attempt the connection, and then we're going to move to authentication and settings. We specify the user password for the connection and the secret VPN password. We're going to click OK. I'm going to click on Show VPN Status in the menu bar so I can see the communication here, and we're going to apply this. Okay, now because I'm connected via two ways, I'm connected via the internal network 192.168.25.0/24. I'm going to unlink or disable the Ethernet interface. So to make the test, right now I'm connected via my Samsung Galaxy Note, acting as a hotspot, and I'm going to open the terminal and verify if I can reach the network. And we have replies from Google servers. So I'm going to make the test. I'm going to click on the VPN L2TP and connect. Right now we are connected to the VPN tunnel. One of the things that I want to point is that sometimes, depending of the circumstance, I don't know why, but in my case, I'm going to try and make a pin to google.com again, and I have pins. So how I know is this traffic is passing through the VPN and not to the Wi-Fi network. So we can open quickly Wireshark and verify the traffic. I have a pretty high time, so that might be the carrier issues. So I'm going to move to the PPP0, which is the interface that was created by the VPN tunnel. And if you want to find out that, you can go and type ifconfig, and down you will see the PPPO um, virtual interface, and this is the IP address that I have. And if you want to verify that again, you can go to Open Network and Preferences and verify the IP here. So we have the same IP address. So I'm going to open the PPP0, and let's go to capture some traffic on this interface. I'm going to make a ping to Google. And as you can see right now, I have communication to Google, but it's not really via or through the PPP0 interface. So to remediate this problem, possibly in Windows that might not happen, but it happened to me in Mac, I find out that if I go to the Open Network Preferences again and verify in this button the set service order, the set service order specify the order for the default routes that Mac will take. So if you notice, we first have the Ethernet communication, and if we don't have Ethernet connected physically to the port, then the traffic we will pass through Wi-Fi. So we can also verify that on netstat dash nr, and I'm going to specify grep default, and you will see that the default route right now and the preferred route is the Wi-Fi network, and the other one is the PPPO, the PP0, which is the VPN tunnel. So I'm going to change this by dragging up the VPN L2TP over Ethernet and click OK and then apply. And then if we try the command again, you will see that the PPPO is going first as the default route from the Mac perspective, right? So let's go to make another ping again and verify our Wireshark. And you will see, type in ICMP in the search, you will see that right now I'm getting, let's go and stop the ping process and stop the capture. And you will see that the 10.242.3.2, which is my VPN IP, is getting communication to Google. So that's great because we remediate that problem. Possibly in Windows that not happen, but in case that happen in Mac, you know how to resolve that. Well, the next step is to verify our connection to the internet if we have a DNS resolve configuration in the right place. So we are navigating right now, so that's good. And also we can try to reach the network from the internal network on Sophos, and I know that the gateway is 192.168.25.1. As you can see, we have replies from the server. So if I attempt to get into the web base again, it seems like that I'm getting through the web admin page. It takes a little, but we are here. So we are right now on the login screen, and that's what I want to test. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you later.
Headshot.